Welcome back, everyone. And so, unfortunately, I have to make a big decision today. Actually, I made that decision because yesterday in the session it was okay. Actually, let's do it better. It was. I've managed to reach the goal of 116 for that we want for this week, but my back didn't feel that great after. And as I told you when I got injured, the, there is one rule that I will never pass: is train through an injury. So, um, I want to talk a little bit about what's going to happen because I don't think this is that bad. It's just that probably I have a little bit of not tension, but something pretty I think on the spine, and that probably with just a week of rest it will be fine. I think starting next week I could actually be already recovered and be able to move on. But the issue is if I keep training this week, wait for next week because I'm going to show you, but um this one. Remember, next week should have been actually a deload, so pretty much a rest week. But unfortunately, if I just wait for that week, maybe I could increase the damage and make it just make that week not even. I would not be able to actually recover to be then able to go on the next cycle, especially because this week normally should have been the hardest week of the middle cycle, and doing the hardest week of the middle cycle while being injured is, I think, a dumb move. So here's the deal. What I'm thinking is here, okay, we somewhat, this is a blank week, no goal for this week, but what I'm going to change is 115 for this after, because this is something actually that you can do every now and then, where if you have accumulated a little bit too much fatigue, you can actually do a deload, which is even more than a deload, which is kind of an active recovery phase or anything, where you just don't go to the gym, you just don't train. I can go to the golf course, I can just do little things that are very light, not strenuous for the body, just to really promote a massive amount of recovery. And those kind of wins, you can even do nothing. That's fine. The idea is really you want to remove as much fatigue as possible to recover, and in my case, mainly recover from that injury. So that's what I want to do. Then the next phase, the next week that should have been a deal, is actually going to be a reactivation phase, where since my body is going to completely shut down this week, just to recover, alleviate the fatigue and everything, if I want to then be able to get back on track to this 116, 117, 118 goal, I need to reactivate everything slowly, not too much because I don't want to cause fatigue, but still to be able to kind of get back to it. That's why in term of squat, I think I'm going to go for 160, probably 110, and 190 should be fine with the deadlift. After we'll see how that goes, but mainly that's okay. That's sub max. I'm going under my max for sure. Even maybe I'm going to go slightly lower than that. 115 normally, if I'm good, that's something I'm eating relatively easy, so I'm not going to have to push that out, especially because of the recovery and so on. So that's just a week just to get back to it fresh, especially because I'm seeing my therapist or osteopath, your chiropractor. I don't know what you call it in English. Anyway, Monday. So next Monday, and that will allow me to get my body checked up to be able to get back to it next week. But the idea, as I said, next week is not about getting back all in at once. It's just getting back to training, reactivate my body so I'm prepared for the next middle cycle. And actually, that's actually the smartest move here. Not really pushing, because here we got some speed. I got some speed, 16.7. So let's just put that in. At least I reached my goal, 0.7, but that's not necessarily the goal, because here it was more about kind of, yeah, you know what, I'm not even going to register it, just to really remind myself that was the week where I actually went on a active recovery phase. What color should I put it? not that blue. Let's go with purple. Okay. Yes. So that just to because at the end of the year I kind of want to have a clear idea. Okay, this is what happened. This is why I did what I did, and so I can better understand what happened. So next year when I build a new plan and so on, I'm smarter about it. That's also there is a lot of that into building an annual plan. Is each year you do something and then you learn from what you did to improve next year. There is a very high skill level to be able to do that. I mean, that's why coaches are coaches, because they have their own skills that they need to work on, where players have their own skills that they need to work on. But at the moment, I'm my coach and I'm a player, so I'm trying to learn everything at once. Anyway, so yeah, pretty much this is that. Here is a recovery week and reactivation week. That's pretty much how that's going to go. Reactivation week, and then the idea is normally after those 2 weeks where I'm dropping massively my fatigue, I'm reactivating everything without causing much fatigue anyway, then I should get back to this week, because to this week with all that I can actually do and be ready to actually push through really hard. So I hope that's it. I hope that's gonna work. Also, then maybe I'm going to do that in tomorrow's video, because I kind of want to start sharing. Since this week I'm not going to train at all, but there is a few things that I'm going to do anyway. I've been talking a lot about a few times about the business side or the things that I'm doing outside of golf, and currently I'm working a lot on actually creating content to grow this YouTube channel and my Instagram and TikTok, and to create very good short form content that people will want to watch. And so what I'm guessing is probably I'm going to kind of do a few videos where I'm going to talk you through what I'm doing, and maybe you will find that interesting, how as an athlete you can grow your social media, and what are the thought process that go into it. So then when I actually release those videos, you will know where they came from. That's just some thoughts. Anyway, so that was just the update. This week is going to be chill. We are going to do, as I said, a lot of chit chat video, just to walk you through a little bit of what is going on behind the scene, what I'm doing. Because as I told you, since my goal is to go to the US and participate to Monday qualifier and try to earn my card on the PGA Tour, of course I need to be good enough, and that I'm working on it. You see it. That's going to take a while. I believe maybe 2 to 3 years. But there is another side to it, which is about money. And at the moment, that's the main concern. Honestly, I think I'm on the right track to become really good and to have the level that I need. But to succeed at a pro level, this is not just about your level. There is so much that's going into it. It's just, you need to have your golf game right, you need to have your mental game right, and you need to have your money right. That might not seem that big of a deal, but there is not even just the money right. There is also the whole process, the team that is behind. There is so much things that go into actually becoming a pro. This is not just about just playing well. There is way more things than that. And so at the moment, that's why I want to focus on, by growing my golf social media, being able to find a way to make money. And so, as you can see, for instance, in the description, I've created a PDF where that you can buy if you want to prepare for tournament. And I think I'm going to build a few other. So that's not much. I think that I've put it at $19, something like that. But just a way for people that first of all need that could be something very interesting, or just a way for you to support me if you want. And yeah, I'm going to do, I think, a few other, like how to probably one on speed training, other one to have a nice workout program in the gym, maybe another about nutrition as well, could be interesting. So that's kind of a few things, but we'll go in detail about that in next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.